Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're continuing our way through Superboy issue 5 with the second story, A Zoo for Sale. And before you make your "we bought a zoo" jokes, no one ever actually buys the zoo. Matt Damon didn't exist yet in the 1950s, unless he's secretly very old. No, this is a story that I actually like because it passes the fun test. It's a very fun comic that, even with its awfulness, and there is a lot of problematic awfulness in this comic, still manages to eke out the fun. Even with a lackluster climax, I still kind of had fun with that climax. Though, looking back on it, going over it before recording this video, it is very boring to look at those last couple of battles. It's all in the dialogue. So, very simply, there is a rich man named Mr. Henchley who owns his own zoo, which probably is pretty good evidence that he's evil. I mean, look at the Tiger King dude. No one really owns big cats who isn't in some way kind of a monster. He actually is owning all these animals so he can smuggle in stolen jewels through their feed. And with Superboy around to tour the place, maybe he shouldn't have given tours to random children, he's finally found out. Before he's captured, he hides a very valuable ruby in the lion's mane. And for pretty much the entirety of the story, we just kind of cut back to him pretty much excited that no one's ever going to find that ruby and that cat's going to have to be put down. Because the animals, without anybody to buy them, are all going to be exterminated. So Superboy has to figure out a way to find homes for all these animals. Now, I'm sure there is some sort of refuge, and maybe some zoos would take them. Maybe not being released back into the wild. But Superboy's answer is to find useful jobs for each one of these animals. We don't even get ideas if they're being taken care of well. He turns a giraffe into a marketing board to walk down a street. I mean, fun idea, but awful for the giraffe. Sometimes it's really hard to leave your head for the insane things that are happening in the comic book. But there are a lot of fun ideas, like an aardvark who eats ants at your picnic. I guess that's the reason to have an aardvark, but I'm not going on many picnics, so why am I spending so much money on feeding this aardvark? And the medical bills. God, that's a lot of money. I don't even know how to take care of an aardvark, Superboy. Is there some sort of book? So he just finds all these animals jobs. Not even really good places to be living. I mean, that giraffe has to be living somewhere in the city. I doubt there's some sort of stable or something you can keep them in. No one builds stables for giraffes. There's just a lot of problematic aspects to him getting jobs for these animals instead of just finding a refuge. But every single time he does something, Henchley thinks there's no way he's going to find a home for the lion. The lion's going to be put down, and I'll easily find the ruby from its dead carcass or ashes. He does find a home for that lion. He helps find a home for a bunch of cats for a cat refuge that he turns into almost a large-looking sphinx. It's just a big cat, but it reminds you of the sphinx when he puts it together. And under the agreement, they have to put the lion in there, even though I'm pretty sure the lion would probably eat most of those cats. Seems like a bad idea. But he finds a home for that lion, and for our climax, Superboy throws it in his face, Mr. Henchley's face, standing in front of him in prison, doing legitimately nothing. There is no climax where he does something actually interesting with his powers, other than mention that, yeah, he knew about the ruby the whole time. He's Superboy. He can see through things. He knew the ruby was there. So maybe one of the least interesting ways to depict an ending for any sort of Superman or Superboy story. But I do like that he's your brilliant plan. I saw through it from the get-go. Come on, guy, I'm Superboy. And I enjoy that aspect about it. I love that he is basically taunting this guy for what he's been proudly exclaiming for the entire issue, that it wasn't actually all that smart. I'm smarter than you, and I'm a child. So if you can get by all the horrible things that have to be happening to these animals now that he's put them to work, it does manage to be enjoyable and kind of fun. Okay, that is it from Superboy issue 5, A Zoo for Sale. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday. Or Batman starring either Detective Comics or Batman. Until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? I'm really worried about what happened to these animals once feeding bills became too much to handle for all these people. Okay, have a great day.